Genetic is like a loaded gun. We do not press the trigger, but the lifestyle factors or the environmental factors are the trigger. Unless and until I'm managing my external trigger factors, that is lifestyle and diet, it will not shoot. So it is as simple as that. You manage your external factors and prevent the gun from shooting. My name is Bhumi and I'm from Vadodara, Gujarat, and I've completed my bachelor's in foods and nutrition, as dietetics being my majors, and now I'm pursuing my master's in nutrition and dietetics with Nutrigenomics being my major subject.
What is polycystic ovarian syndrome, Samiksha?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome is a syndrome which is affecting women of the reproductive age, and it is an endocrine disorder. My name is Samiksha Mehta. I was born and brought up in Coimbatore, and I'm originally from Rajasthan. And now I'm pursuing my master's in nutrition and dietetics with a specialization of nutrigenomics.
What is nutrigenomics?
It is made up of two words, as we know, nutri and genomics. Nutri stands for nutrition and genomics is a genetic makeup.
Do you think that gene test is important for a human to do it?
So if you would have asked this question to me 10 years earlier, I would have said no, or I would have said I don't know. People are having so many diseases nowadays, and people are literally dying of heart attack at a very early age.
Did stress affect our gene?
People need to understand that managing stress is like managing the biggest factor in your life.
A few food items or a few nutrients which we consume will have an effect in activating those genes, and that's how the cancer cells are suppressed.
To keep people around us who are motivating and with whom you feel very comfortable to talk about anything, and you know that you can have that source of motivation from them and continue your journey.
In this entire conversation, we didn't talk about physical activity at all. So in a lifestyle that I would recommend to women with PCOS.
Can we prevent or treat polycystic ovarian syndrome with nutrigenomics?
So if I know that I'm going to develop PCOS in later years of my life, then I can start my medications or my diet or my lifestyle modifications at a very early age.
Hello everybody, I am Dr. Burhan. Welcome back to another broadcast. Today's topic is very interesting and very important, which is related to women. The topic is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and we will discuss it with a wonderful guest from India, the dietitian Bhumi and Samiksha. Welcome Bhumi, welcome Samiksha. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much for having us here.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Bhumi, can you tell us about yourself?
So my name is Bhumi and I'm from Vadodara, Gujarat, and I've completed my bachelor's in foods and nutrition, as dietetics being my majors, and now I'm pursuing my master's in nutrition and dietetics with Nutrigenomics being my major subject.
Very good, you're welcome. And Samiksha, can you tell us about yourself?
My name is Samiksha Mehta. I was born and brought up in Coimbatore, and I'm originally from Rajasthan. Same as Bhumi, I did my bachelor's in nutrition and dietetics. It was a triple major, so I also did chemistry and human development along with it. And now I'm pursuing my master's in nutrition and dietetics with a specialization of nutrigenomics.
You're welcome. So, Bhumi, before we go through our topic, I will ask you, what is nutrigenomics?
Okay, so nutrigenomics is a very, very interesting field of study, and it is upcoming field as well. Basically, it is made up of two words, as we know, nutri and genomics. Nutri stands for nutrition and genomics is a genetic makeup. So what we study in nutrigenomics is the effect of nutrients on our genes, which are already there in our body. Now, we cannot change our genetic makeup. We are born as we are. But how would nutrition play a vital role in shaping our health is what we'll be studying in nutrigenomics.
Yes. And what do you say?
So she rightly said that nutrigenomics is the study of how nutrients affect your gene, and she also said that genes cannot be changed. So nutrition as an external factor is going to maybe suppress a few genes or express a few genes. For example, cancer, as we all know. So cancer genes, the tumor suppressor genes, they have to be activated in our body.
Yes.
And a few food items or a few nutrients which we consume will have an effect in activating those PCOS genes, and that's how the cancer cells are suppressed. And the opposite effect is for oncogenes. So oncogenes are supposed to be suppressed. So a few nutrients and food items are going to help suppress that genes and not help express it. So that's how nutrition has an effect on.
Very good. Good explanation for nutrigenomic. Okay, now, what is polycystic ovarian syndrome, Samiksha?
So, polycystic ovarian syndrome is a syndrome which is affecting women of the reproductive age, and it is a endocrine disorder. So, the hormonal changes and the hormonal balance is what affects the reproductive organs of the women of a woman.
Very good. And what is the relationship between nutrient and polycystic ovarian syndrome?
So there are a lot of nutrients that has an effect on the polycystic ovarian syndrome. The very basic one is, for example, probiotics and prebiotics. So our gut has an effect on all the body systems, same as for the reproductive system. So if our gut is healthy, if the gut microbiota is healthy, so will our body parts be. So having probiotics and prebiotics, which will help regulate our gut microbiome, will help in regulating the PCOS.
Even it will be affect your brain
Yeah,
healthy, right?
that's right.
And when the brain it will be healthy, our body it will be healthy.
Yes.
Bhumi, what is the relationship between polycystic ovarian syndrome and nutrigenomic?
So polycystic ovarian syndrome is a multifactorial thing. So taking only one thing into consideration wouldn't help. Like it is affected by genetics, by lifestyle modifications, by diet. So incorporating all the factors would be a very helpful approach in curing the polycystic ovarian syndrome. And as we saw that genetics is something that we own, we have, we cannot change. But nutrigenomics, as in what we are taking into our body, is something that we have in our hands. So considering that as an important factor, nutrigenomic will help in giving a personalized diet plan. So for example, if I know that there are these genetic mutations that I have, due to which PCOS is there in my body, I'm not saying that necessarily it's only because of genetic factors, but if I have those, then which nutrients will help me cure that will be very clear from a nutrigenomic report. So I think it would be more personalized and to the point approach if we.
Very good, very good. And how the diet play in managing polycystic syndrome, ovarian syndrome, symptoms?
Okay, so symptoms of PCOS are nausea, vomiting, you have intense cramps, and there are other hirsutism, that is a facial hair and everything, because of high testosterone levels, which are not there in females. So a healthy diet, as Samiksha also mentioned, that a healthy gut is also very important. So incorporation of prebiotic, probiotic, high fiber foods, then high protein would help in controlling all those symptoms as well. Also, very important part is management of weight. So obesity is seen in people in women with PCOS. So managing your weight is also very important. So high fiber, high protein, and a low carbohydrate diet would be very helpful in managing the weight as well. Incorporation of vitamin D supplement is also very beneficial because it will help combat these symptoms that I mentioned right now.
Right, very good. Samiksha, how can a low glycemic index benefit women with polycystic ovarian syndrome?
PCOS has a lot of metabolic disorders connected to it. One of it, as she mentioned, is obesity. Another one is insulin resistance or insulin sensitivity. So having low glycemic index foods will help the woman refrain from increasing their blood glucose level or spiking it very immediately, and which will help them control their glucose levels. And this will help in improving their insulin sensitivity and reducing their insulin resistance.
Can you give us example of low glycemic index?
Grains, legumes, fiber-rich foods, sources like flax seeds, sunflower seeds, sources which are high in omega-3 fatty acids. These are all the food sources.
Okay, Bhumi, how can fiber-rich food regulate hormone related to polycystic ovarian syndrome?
Okay, so as I mentioned, that obesity is a major concern. So having high fiber food will give you satiety for a very long period of time. So it will help in managing weight. Along with that, the fiber that is present in the gut will absorb the extra estrogen levels, which can also lead to the symptoms that I mentioned, which are nausea, vomiting, and all of those symptoms. So having high fiber food will absorb the estrogen, and so less estrogen will be circulating in the blood. So in a way, it is managing a hormone that is not being managed normally by the women who has PCOS. So I think it will be very helpful for that.
Yes, very nice. Now I have a question for both of you. Can we prevent or treat polycystic ovarian syndrome with nutrigenomic, with science of nutrigenomic?
Yes, I think because nutrigenomic tests or nutrigenomic is a preventive method. So if I'm getting myself tested at a very early age, till then I might have not even developed PCOS. So if I know that I'm going to develop PCOS in later years of my life, then I can start my medications or my diet or my lifestyle modifications at a very early age. So basically, it's like a loaded gun. Nutrigenomics is gene expression. At what point of time in your life are those genes getting expressed? So with diet and lifestyle modification, we can delay that or even prevent that. So I think it is possible.
Can you give example for this gene expression?
Yeah, sure. As
Like what?
Samisha gave, for example, cancer we talked about. Similarly, there are genes for hypertension as well. So I know that there are genes, but they are still not expressed. But I also know that maybe in later stages of my life, they can get expressed. Now, diet and lifestyle modifications are external factors that I can control. So if I'm controlling those factors early enough, before the expression of those genes, then I can delay the onset, or maybe they might not even get expressed because I've already taken my preventive measures to not get myself into hypertensive state.
So I would like to add on to this. So there's a gene, a very specific example. There is a gene which codes for the conversion of testosterone to another compound in the body, which reduces the level of testosterone in the body. So when this gene is already present in your body, it is good for a woman because it needs to be converted. But when this gene undergoes epigenetic changes, that will help in the hypomethylation. So methylation is basically there's a gene, there's a cap on it. So when there's a cap on it, it is not expressed. And when there is no cap, it
will be
is
expressed, yes.
So this cap is the methylation. So when there is hypomethylation, which means less methylation, so there is less capping, so it is more expressed. So when it is more expressed, the conversion is there, which is good. But when there is hypermethylation, when there is more capping and this gene is not expressed, that is when the testosterone is not getting converted to the other compound and there is a lot of testosterone in your body. And this genetic factor can be found out from a genetic report. That is why it is helpful. Like you said, it will help in the prevention for future if you have the chance of developing PCOS. But another thing is, once you have developed PCOS, it is not very easy to reverse it or cure it. There is no cure for it. You can definitely manage it by changing your diet, by having modifications, lifestyle modifications. But once you have already been diagnosed with PCOS, even a genetic report might not help preventing it or reversing it or curing it.
Curing it.
I would also like to add a thing for explaining nutrigenomic very simply. And recently we had learned this. They said that genetic is like a loaded gun. We do not press the trigger, but the lifestyle factors or the environmental factors are the trigger. Unless and until we are following a good lifestyle that is not triggering the gun, it will not shoot. So similarly for this, I have done my test. I know that I have genes for this disease. Unless and until I'm managing my external trigger factors, that is lifestyle and diet, it will not shoot. So it is as simple as that. You manage your external factors and prevent the gun from shooting. Simple.
Yeah, very good. Did you think that gene test is important for a human to do it?
I think as we
Even
the-
can, like,
yeah. So if you would have asked this question to me 10 years earlier, I would have said no, or I would have said, I don't know. But we are progressing, and this will be a need of an hour in future, because people are having so many diseases nowadays, and people are literally dying of heart attack at a very early age, which is not a good sign. People are obese. They have so many cardiovascular disease problems. So, and it's not that it stops with me. If I have those genes, I'll pass it on to my family members as well. So I think it becomes very important to get a genetic test done in order to prevent it at the earliest and lead a very healthy lifestyle.
okay. Samiksha,
I'll just
you
add
want
on
to add it? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll just add on. So, like she said, the importance of genetic test. Another thing is it is a one-time investment. Your genes are not going to change as you progress, as your life, as you grow old, your genes are not going to change. So this one-time investment is going to help you to foresee what are the chances of a future development of diseases or any intolerance, food sensitivity. All of this can already be found in just one test, and this is not going to change. And once you find it out, you can make changes and you can prevent from that happening.
Samiksha, I have one more question. It's not one more, it's a lot of question, actually. What is the relationship between healthy fat and unhealthy fat and women with polycystic ovarian syndrome?
So, unhealthy fat leads to inflammation, which leads to obesity, and the healthy fat helps to cut down on the inflammation. So, sources like omega-3, omega-6, these are all healthy fats, and they will help to balance out the unhealthy fat in your body. Like we all know, in our blood reports, we get the HDL level, LDL level, and we've marked that as HDL is good cholesterol, LDL is bad cholesterol. So just to put it in a easier way, the HDL levels, once they increase, the LDL levels will automatically cut down. So this balance is required, and this is definitely related to PCOS, because in PCOS, inflammation is a major problem. So more the inflammation, more the aggravation of the symptoms of PCOS. So consuming healthy fats will reduce the inflammation and will reduce the symptoms also.
Okay, Bhumi, what do you think about ghee?
Yeah, about ghee.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Is it healthy or unhealthy?
I guess
Especially for women with
PCOS.
PCOS.
Right. So I think that anything in moderation is healthy. So whatever is there that we are eating is healthy for us, unless and until we are not overeating those things. So ghee in limited amount is also fine. If you're using it for cooking and throughout the day, if you are advised to have 25 grams of visible fat. So incorporating one serving of ghee is not bad. It will have good nutrients. From cow's ghee would be low in fat compared to buffalo's ghee. So I think that if taken in moderation, it is healthy.
Very good. And what about coconut oil, Samiksha?
Coconut oil, as you all know, is a MCT. So that is known to be good because it has good effects on PCOS, because it is kind of considered as a good fat. But again, if you use coconut oil for deep frying foods or having chips or samosas, then that is not a good use of coconut oil. But if the same coconut oil you use for cooking, in South India we call it sundal or poriyal, so that is used in cooking. The coconut oil is used for this kind of food items, the process of this kind of food items, and that is good.
It is good.
Yeah.
But in high dose, it's not good.
Like she said, in moderation it is definitely good, but too much of coconut oil would not be good.
We have a classmate from South India, right? And they always use coconut oil. You should advise her, right?
Coconut oil, I think if you're using oil, like we've all learned, we should substitute or juggle between
But
two.
Samiksha, do you think all type of coconut oil, like there is so many type of coconut oil in market? Maybe some of them, it's like adulteration food, under adulteration. Do you think all of this coconut oil type is
No. So, coconut oil also, I think nowadays there is a lot of processed coconut oil or refined coconut oil, which is not good. Instead, the new concept of cold pressed coconut oil, that is getting increased. So that is, I think, a healthier option than the processed and refined coconut oil.
Okay, Bhumi. Now we will come to the stress, the most important thing in our day. What is the relationship between stress and women with polycystic ovarian syndrome?
So, stress, when there is a high level of stress in your body, chronic stress, which is a long term stress, your cortisol levels are also high. So, it increases the inflammation in your body. Also, your levels of serotonin will be low, which is a happy hormone. So, I think managing stress would manage all the other hormones as well. So, simple things like relaxation in the morning or 5 minutes of affirmation is also good enough for that. Or maybe if you don't have time for that, also talk to a person with whom you are close, or just have a talk with someone and release everything that is there in your brain that is stressing you out. I think that would help a lot with women in PCOS. And already they are stressed about not getting regular periods, and they have body issues and everything is there. So only 5 to 10 minutes of yoga, relaxation, or dancing or anything would help with releasing the stress.
Stress. Very good. Did stress affect our gene?
Stress does affect our genes. So there are telomeres that are present in our body, in the DNA. So it is said that the longer the telomere, the healthier is the longer is your age, or the healthier is your body. Basically, it talks about the biological age, the wear and tear that is caused in your body. Now, due to high level of stress, lot of inflammation and ROS, that is the reactive oxygen species, are also present in our body. Because of that, the telomere length gets shortened and it affects your biological age. So directly or indirectly, it is harming your body to an DNA level. So we think that stress is something that everybody has and it might not affect, but it affects at micro level. So people need to understand that managing stress is like managing the biggest factor in your life.
Bhumi, what is the role of vitamin D in women with polycystic ovarian syndrome?
So generally, vitamin D deficiency is seen in women with PCOS, and vitamin D is also very helpful in gene expression, and it is also related to glucose and lipid metabolism. Now, as we have talked about insulin resistance and good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, or lipid metabolism. So I think vitamin D supplementation or good levels of vitamin D in women with PCOS will help combat all the issues, that is insulin resistance and lipid metabolism, and it will also help in curing the symptoms that we had talked about, which is nausea, vomiting, then facial hair and all those things.
Oh, very good.
I think the symptoms that she's talking about, it will reduce because vitamin D also has an effect in reducing the levels of androgen in your
Androgen, yes, right. And Samiksha, like women with the polycystic ovarian syndrome suffer from so many deficiency, vitamin and mineral, like that. What are the most nutritional deficiency seen in women with polycystic ovarian syndrome?
Okay, so vitamin D, as she said. Then there is vitamin B9.
B9.
And selenium.
B9, which is
folic acid.
Folic acid, yes.
Vitamin B9, then selenium, magnesium, omega-3 fatty acids. So these are the very most seen nutrition.
What is the role of magnesium for women?
Magnesium is also helpful in the metabolic pathways of your body. So when the metabolism of your body is increased, all these metabolic disorders like obesity or insulin
resistance, yeah. I wanted this information. Yes, okay. And what is the role of folic acid?
So folic acid, due to irregular periods, there's a lot of loss of blood from the body, and it also reduces the hemoglobin level. So restoring those again would be very important. And so I think folic acid is also very important.
Very good. I have one more question, and it's for both of you. Which type of lifestyle will you recommend it for women with polycystic ovarian syndrome?
About in this entire conversation, we didn't talk about physical activity at all. So, in a lifestyle that I would recommend to women with PCOS would be physical activity, because it will help manage majority of the things. That is, first she spoke about stress. So the cortisol levels are high in women with PCOS. That will be reversed because when you work out, your serotonin levels are high. Then again, it helps in weight management. So physical activity will reduce your weight, not extreme weight loss, but a moderation in the weight the existing weight will help with the symptoms of PCOS. Then again, your insulin sensitivity improves when you work out. So physical activity would be one major thing that you should incorporate. Not you, like a woman with PCOS should incorporate in their daily life.
Yeah, so I would give a whole day elaborate. So morning we can start with relaxation, meditation, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time we have. Followed by a good protein rich breakfast, then good high fiber, complex carbohydrates as we talk about, which we get from whole grains and legumes, and along with good probiotics like buttermilk or curd. So a very good calorie and healthy lunch. Followed by fruits, because fruits are anti-inflammatory in nature, fruits and vegetables. So it's very important to incorporate those in diet. And also there is this seed cycling that I had read about. So there are these pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and all those. So those mimic the role of estrogen in the body. And so there are phases in menstruation, which is follicular phase, luteal phase. So during the first 1 to 15 days, 2 types of seeds are to be taken. And then in the rest 15 days, another 2 types of seeds are to be taken. So it has omega-3 fatty acids. So it's good for that as well. And the research is still going on in this particular topic, but it is very healthy to incorporate seeds in your day as well. And then followed by a high protein or a good protein and a good fiber dinner. And incorporate physical activity wherever you have time. I'm not saying that go to the gym, go to the Zumba class every day. 3 days a week is also fine, but do not do not follow a lifestyle that is sedentary and do not do anything about it. It's very easy. For example, if you're going to third floor, take stairs instead of lift. I know it's very basic, but we don't know that how basic things would bring about a major change in your life, because it's not only about weight loss, it's also about increasing your BMR, which is the basal metabolic rate. So standing up in every 30 minutes, going around. If it is a small place, just take a walk and sit back again. When you are going downstairs, use the stairs again. So these small changes are very important in order to manage everything. So incorporation of all the things that we have talked about, managing stress, good diet, physical activity, and everything is very important. Yeah.
Nice.
Another
Very good.
important thing is to not have processed foods.
Yes.
And reduce the consumption of sugars.
Fast foods.
And fast food.
Yeah.
So that is a major contributor to the elevation of symptoms in PCOS.
And it's not very hard to make healthy choices, I would say. It's just the matter of that motivation that you need to have from inside. If you want to change something, you'll have to change your lifestyle habits or your patterns. So if you have that motivation that you want to bring about a change, it will not be very difficult to incorporate physical activity, or as she said, that not eat processed foods and all. So,
And in today's world, I think there are so many alternative options and it's readily available. You don't have to work for it like how it used to be in the olden days. So when you have so much facility, why don't you use it? And that will basically make your life easier, because you will be the one who will be relieved from the stress and from the symptoms of PCOS.
I also think that it's very important for people around that person to be motivating enough, because that plays a very important role in your life. It's not others what they talk about you matter, it's the people that are around you and that matter to you, and how do they motivate you and how do they see your journey is very important. So I would also recommend that people around to keep people around us who are motivating and with whom you feel very comfortable to talk about anything, and you know that you can have that source of motivation from them and continue your journey. So
Bumi, what did you think about cinnamon as a herbal supplement for women with polycystic ovarian syndrome?
okay, so cinnamon, as we know, that it will help in regulating the blood sugar levels, or it will help in insulin sensitivity. But it along with that comes the fact that it's very heating to the body. So it might exacerbate the symptoms that a woman with PCOS is suffering. So it is quite debatable, I think.
Samiksha.
Yeah, like she said, it is helpful in regulating the blood sugar levels, and blood insulin resistance is a major problem when in a woman with PCOS. So that would help. But again, this also can be taken in moderation. So what I would suggest is you can start with a warm water, cinnamon water in the morning, and you can have it for about a week. And the first symptom that I've read that the first symptom it shows when it doesn't suit your body is a headache. So as soon as you have cinnamon water in the morning, if you continue it for a week and if you get a headache, then you understand that it doesn't suit your body. So you stop with that and then you change the supplement maybe.
Okay. Bumi, can you suggest any Indian ancient superfood for this healthy issue?
Yes, so there's cumin seed water that we take. It's very cooling to the body as well. And there are soaked raisins, black raisins. They are said to increase the hemoglobin level in women. So these are the two things that I've read about, and that would help combat the symptoms that women with PCOS is facing.
Very good. Very good. Samiksha.
I would say garlic and turmeric because they are anti-inflammatory, and having anti-inflammatory foods would help in regulating the PCOS.
What about there is food or not food? It's like a vegetable. It call it Kerala, I think. Kerala. What about Kerala?
Karela again has, I think, the same effect of cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
It
Yes.
helps in regulating the blood sugar levels, so that again will help in improving your insulin.
Yeah, I asked you because I use it as supplement for my client in my clinic for this healthy issue, and it's very good for women with polycystic ovarian syndrome. Yeah.
For that matter, methi seeds, the fenugreek seeds, are also known to improve the insulin resistance in the body. So I think that can also be taken. Or I think majority of the Indian spices or these foods are helpful in a way or the another because they have an anti-inflammatory effect, and we are looking forward to reduce the inflammation in the body and to increase the insulin sensitivity. So they will be useful in a way or other.
Samiksha, what is your strategy you follow to make your body healthy as a nutrigenomic counselor?
Okay. So I would start with my daily routine. I'll just explain what I do on a daily basis. So it is very difficult to incorporate seeds, like for me especially, because I do not like the flavor of it in my food. So once I wake up with warm water, I have a spoon of mixed seeds. I have sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and chia seeds. I've dry roasted them and I've kept them in a bottle. So every morning with warm water, I have a spoon of this mixture of seeds. And if not warm water, I soak good. Have you heard of jaggery? So that is a good source of iron. So I soak it at night in water And the next day morning, I have this mixed seeds with jaggery water. And after about 15 minutes, I have dry fruits, that is almonds, walnuts, and dates, which will again help with different functions. Like I was having a very low level of hemoglobin 3 years back. I was around 8, and at a point I was even 7. So to combat that, I had incorporated these, like dates and raisins, like she said, the black raisins I had incorporated in my diet, and now I can say that it has increased to around 11.8, which is a quite good number. And apart from that, I have a warm breakfast. So I try to incorporate a lot of vegetables in my breakfast as well. And after that, I go about with my day. We have classes, college, and all of that. And then for lunch, again, a wholesome meal where I have a little bit of rice, chapati, vegetables, definitely a source of protein, that is dal or paneer, and maybe buttermilk or curd or raita, something like that. And after that, I would have around 4 to 5 o'clock. I'll have some light snack, maybe some sprout salad or makhana. And along with that, if I'm feeling extremely hungry, I would have a fruit, because I really like fruits. So I would incorporate fruits. And towards the end of the day, the dinner, I try to keep it light, so that because I've noticed that the heavier my dinner is, the more difficulty I face to fall asleep. So I try to have a lighter dinner, and yeah, that's about it. That's my day.
That is very, very good strategy. Maybe I will apply this strategy in my lifestyle. I like this strategy. What about you, Bhumi?
So yeah, pretty same, but I don't like the I don't have the early morning breakfast ritual that she follows. But I have one thing that I try to do. I try to walk a lot. For example, whenever I reach the college, instead of using lift, I'll go through stairs. Or even in our flat, if I'm going, there's no lift, but yeah, even if there would have been, I would have climbed the stairs. So I try to add an extra factor of physical activity, because I think that it works good for me. And I've seen changes in my life with incorporation of physical activity and without the physical activity as well. So I think that it's a very important part of my life.
Very good, very good. You have also have a good strategy for your lifestyle. So we have come to end of our broadcast for today. Special thanks for our audience. Thanks for your valuable times. And thanks for our dietitian Bhumi and Samiksha.
Thank you for having us here, and thank you for giving us the honor to be present in your podcast.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm really enjoying with you guys.
We enjoy and answering your questions as well. And I hope this podcast would help women with PCOS out there. And
If you have any advice, you can.
I think questions summed up everything that I had to give.
Yeah.
So
You're welcome. And really, I enjoyed with this valuable knowledge that you have. See you next time with new broadcast. Goodbye and good night. Thank you, Samiksha. Thank you, Bhumi, for participating today for our broadcast. I'm
So different. You've never done this before.
we were so excited also about discussing.
now you are good. Maybe we can also record some other session with you after Diwali. Okay.